What is up everybody, Zale here. I have here with me the Beyblade X BX-00 Cobalt Drake 460F Clear version. This is a Beyblade X app Rare Bay Get Battle Prize Bay, which is actually easier to get than Aero Pegasus, and of course by extension the original Cobalt Drake. However, the app is only available in Japan and other Asian regions, so if you're not in any of those, you're gonna have to do some extra work just to try and get your hands on one of these. But there's a number of this floating around in the local Beyblade X marketplace in the Philippines, which typically goes for about 2,000 to 3,000 pesos, which is not too bad in my opinion. Let's take a quick look at the box design real quick. Since this is a special release Beyblade, it comes in this cardboard box. The box of the original Cobalt Drake had a very different design, having a black triangle thingy on the top left and the name of the release here. But starting with the Team Persona Health site, they rolled out these releases with a black mark or a black X on the design. If you're curious about what the sides of the box look like, here it is. And the other stuff on the back. And of course it shows you BX-00 Cobalt Drake 460F info here on the very bottom. Now, although my seller opened the box to quote-unquote check the contents in question still remain intact and still sealed in the plastic. So yeah, we have here Cobalt Drake 460F Clear version. This is the flat bit, and of course it's got a white base but a clear shaft. This is actually a thing with the with special release bits in like something like a tournament prize or like a special release like the Drawn Deck set, Aero Pegasus, the original Cobalt Drake. The shafts are in a translucent or transparent plastic. Whereas compared to regular releases like the flat bit from Drawn Sword that you can normally get from the shelf, it's just gonna be all opaque and just like, you know, a singular color. Next up, we have the 460 ratchet, which can also be found on Hell Scythe and Black Shell, and yeah, it's all clear, which I honestly do kind of dig, but it is going to be pretty much going to be messed up as like crazy when you're going to do lots and lots of battles with this thing. But 460 ain't that of a popular pick for deck building. And if you're going to just keep battling with Cobalt Drake on stock, this is bound to get like messed up because of all the collision with other bays. And finally, the main event itself. We have the Cobalt Drake Blade. Let's actually align this a little bit. There we go. So this is gonna be the easier Cobalt Drake to obtain. I do have the original Cobalt Drake blade still sealed in the plastic, but that's because I only bought the blade itself. The ratchet and bit were sold separately until that got sold out. So for the meantime, I'm probably just gonna keep this sealed in the plastic until I maybe piece together like, you know, other parts until I get maybe like the original stock combo, but this will do for now, I guess. Plus this is way more affordable and easier to come by than the original anyway. I mean, the original Cobalt Drake got phased out like the middle of 2024 for Aero Pegasus, but it's nice to see that we can still get Cobalt Drake anyway. All right, so let's put together Cobalt Drake. And there is Cobalt Drake 460 flat. It's worth mentioning that Cobalt Drake is based on Seiryu or the Azure Dragon, and in Beyblade context, basically Dragoon from the original Bakuten Shoot Beyblade series. In fact, if you look closely at the gear chip design of a Cobalt Drake, you can actually see the Bakuten logo right there. Not only that, this color scheme was actually made to reference the original Dragoon line from Bakuten Shoot Beyblade, because like the original Dragoon line was white, and you got all this like clear stuff, which is very close to white pretty much. Here it is next to a Cobalt Dragoon, them being both based on Seiryu or the Azure Dragon. Of course, you don't got the metal coat on from the original Cobalt Drake anymore, but at least you don't have to worry too much about the paint chipping. So it's not going to look too ugly, but it is bound to happen. But anyway, let's take Cobalt Drake out for a spin and do some test battles with it. Alright, let's do some test dashes with Cobalt Drake before we get into any battles, just to see how he would, you know, glide around the stadium. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Oh, wait, what? I do not know how that happened. Let's try again. Oh, shoot! 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Alright, looks like this guy can pack a punch. Alright, for the inaugural battles, let's pick Cobalt Drake through the Sacred Beasts Gauntlet. Starting with Crimson Garuda. Ooh. Alright, strong hits from Drake. Cobalt Drake with a spin finish. Let's do Vice Tiger next. Oh, Cobalt Drake is tilting. Spin finish from Vice Tiger. Alright, let's do an Azure Dragon battle with Cobalt Dragoon. Oh, and Cobalt Drake won! He bursted and overfinished Cobalt Dragoon and like at the same time. What? That's crazy. Alright, next up we've got Black Shell. Ooh, extreme finish from Cobalt Drake right there. Alright, now let's do a Chrome Ryugu versus Ekusukurosu gauntlet with the drawn line. Starting with Drawn Sword. Oh, looks like we'll be down to a spin finish. Oh, and Drawn Sword wins. Next up, we got Drawn Dagger. Oh my gosh. Bro, Ekusukurosu is like built different, bro. Next up, we have a Drawn Buster. Oh! And finally, let's pit it against some Absolute Fire meta combos. Starting with Phoenix Wing 160 Rush. Oh. Next up, we got the Spin Equalizer, Cobalt Dragoon. Next up, we got the Spin Equalizer, Cobalt Dragoon, 570 Elevate. I know people run 60, but I personally run 70 heights on this. Finally, Wizard Rod 960 Ball. Oh, and he's no match for the Spin King. Collision extreme dash right there. Oh, what? Yo, the insane comeback. Alright, after the battles, you should start seeing some battle scars on a clear Cobalt Drake, but it shouldn't really affect the looks too much since it's not metal coat, so it's not gonna chip off. Though if you're gonna use the flat bit on a lot of used stadiums, do expect to expect the white bit to get a bit dirty. And not to mention the ratchet, although I don't think it's still showing up that prominently, it is going to get you know, a little bit battle damage anyway, at least eventually. But you're gonna be focused on Cobalt Drake, so you're gonna be probably using different ratchets and bits anyway. So at least maybe these won't be too damaged, I guess. So yeah, that was the Cobalt Drake 460F clear version. It's nice to know that Cobalt Drake hasn't been really phased out completely and that you can still get him through rare Bayget battles. So this is actually way easier to come by than Aero Pegasus and even the original Cobalt Drake, but that goes without saying. So you're eventually bound to find these in like local marketplaces for who knows how much. Again, in the Philippines, it goes for about 2,000 to 3,000 pesos at least in the Philippine marketplace. You are going to gonna have to find some people selling it at a really good price. So if you do come across a listing, I highly recommend do picking it up, but of course the final decision is on you. But at the very least, Cobalt Drake, even if in its clear version, is a very nice addition to the collection. And since there is no metal coat that will eventually get messed up through wear and tear, at least you'll feel probably a lot more safer, or at least more comfortable using Cobalt Drake in the long term. Well, not exactly in the long term, since it might eventually get outclassed by other bays, Cobalt Dragoon. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Cobalt Drake Clear. So yeah, it's nice to still get Cobalt Drake, even if the original has been phased out of the get battle. Consider yourself lucky if you do still find someone like selling the original, though do expect that the price will be like at least 4 to 5 times higher than this. But yeah, that's pretty much for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of my future content. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time. GG's. GG's.